So while preparing for today's video, I figured something out. I'm a genius. An absolute genius. I figured out how Apple could sell more iPhones this year, which is something they're going to have a problem doing because smartphone sales have been going down for the last several years. But I figured it out, ladies and gentlemen. I figured it out. I'm going to tell you how right after this.
This is, you listening to Travis.
What up, players? Welcome back. And for all you new people, welcome. My name's Travis and I do tech videos every single week and have a blast doing them. If that sounds like fun to you, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Anything I talk about will be in the description below. But for now, let's just get in the video. With the iPhone 11 and 11 Pro and 11 Pro Max, or whatever the heck they're going to be called, right around the corner, there's one thing that we all know. It's a crazy looking phone. I've already done a video about that and how that won't matter. Make sure you check that out. Maybe put it in the end screen or something. But more importantly than that, the biggest challenge Apple has isn't just to try to innovate and make a new interesting phone, although that is a challenge. Their real challenge is how to sell more. Because the only phone that really sold well last year was their iPhone XR. One of the ways they can succeed is do something that John Prosser always talks about on Front Page Tech, compromise. Actually have kind of a compromising thing they can do in order to have some success this year. I mean, geez, this is so good. This is really good. And much like all my genius ideas, are not gonna do it, but it's fun to talk about. Looking back, I found the year in which the most iPhones were sold. It was 2015. Seems like forever ago. You know what phone came out in 2015? The iPhone 6S. By the way, I did a video about the iPhone 6S in 2019. Make sure you watch that here. Shot in 4K, special appearance by Flossie Carter. I went all out for this one. Make sure you watch it. And on iOS 12, that thing just zooms along. It's a great phone, actually works pretty well. Now, here's the thing. The iPhone 6S and 6S Plus get another reprieve because they're actually supported by iOS 13. Now, I did try the beta of iOS 13 on the 6S, and it was bad. It really killed the battery, but I'm hoping that that's just because it was a beta. But here's the problem with that. That year is the year they sold the most iPhones, which means it's the biggest year of opportunity. Let me clarify. So they sold 13 million phones in the first weekend. That's a tremendous amount of phones to be sold in one weekend. But it was also the peak, the most sold phones they would ever sell, just generally speaking. And here's the thing, when you think about that, you think about all the people who at some point need to upgrade their phones. Now, have they upgraded? The one thing that we don't know is how many of those iPhone 6S owners have already upgraded their phones. But I'm guessing there's still a tremendous amount of people out there with iPhone 6Ss. And had Apple just done one thing and not supported the iPhone 6S in the iOS 13 update that's coming out, they could be upgrading those people pretty easily. Because iOS 13 actually has a lot of great features. Some features that actually might make people want to upgrade, especially when they realize their phone is like 3.5, 4 years old. Maybe their battery life isn't as good anymore, and maybe they just are kind of jealous for some of the cool new things that iOS 13 can do. So number one, maybe they should have cut off the iPhone 6S from being supported in iOS 13. Now I know for the 6S owners out there, they're probably like, no, that's terrible for the consumer. But how long do you expect the phone to be supported? It's like 4 years later, that's crazy. And yes, Apple is known for that. But in this case, when sales are declining, you might want to consider cutting it off a little bit early. Get people off the teat. So number one, you've put it in place. Now people are starting to think, maybe I should upgrade. How do you push them over? Well, Apple last year did something they've never really done before, and that's promoted the iPhone XR by doing all types of updates. How about doing a special for people with iPhone 6Ss? Obviously, you're not going to give a whole bunch of money for an iPhone 6S. The technology is quite old, but you do want to encourage people to get rid of their iPhone 6S and get on board with the iPhone 11. Like, get people on board. Because while there may have been a lot of people who've upgraded from the 6S, with over 200 and some odd million phones sold that year, there's bound to be millions upon millions of people still with the 6S. And if you can encourage them this year to upgrade, that's genius. It's money. I mean, it's money. It's money, right? Doesn't that make sense though? You take the upgrade path away from software because, supporting a phone 4.5 years later makes no sense anyway. Then you give them a bonus for trading in their phone and getting onto the new thing. Sure, you lose a little bit of profit, but if you've looked at how much profit Apple makes on these iPhones, they can deal with it. Is it oversimplified? Maybe. Is there a lot more to it than I'm not talking about? Maybe. But this is a YouTube video. They're not paying me for this. I'm here to entertain you guys. Don't blame me if it's not a multi-billion-dollar idea, but I think it is. I think it is. So what would you do? How would you help Apple sell more of the iPhone 11? I think this is it. Like, get those people that have iPhone 6s to get off their phone and get the new one. But if you have a better idea, leave me a comment below. Tell me what you think, and we'll get into it. And just like always, like I always say, yes, we'll get there eventually. But I'm right. If this video helped you out anyway, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. And if it didn't, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. I'm here every single week, having a blast. Hope to see you again real soon. Peace and love, peace and love.